Hello, welcome. It is another live show. If you're watching the recording, don't worry, we're going to get to the good stuff very quickly. It's me, Phil, here in the Digital DJ Tips studio for another Tuesday Tips Live. And this week we are looking at micro, tiny DJ controllers of the type that you see in front of me now. I'm going to talk you through our 6 favorite tiny DJ controllers for 2023, and we're going to talk about why you'd want to use these and other stuff you need to know if you're thinking about DJing with something tiny like this stuff that I've got here. So we're talking here about controllers that by and large give you the full control over DJ software, and these are all designed to work with DJ software. So by that I mean you get the mixer section where you can blend 2 tracks normally, and also the deck section with a couple of jog wheels. There is one example I'm going to show you here that isn't like this, but there are other ways of DJing with micro or tiny DJ gear, which we kind of call modular. A modular is more like the units that you sometimes see DJs who have got a really stripped down DJing style. Maybe they play techno or minimal, and they've got the kind of tractors good at this kind of thing, the tractor F1 or the X1 or the Z1, where the controller it's this kind of shape. I'm going to show you this one in a minute, and it kind of slots in between the decks, and that's it. But really what we're talking about mainly here today is this kind of controller, where it's like a small version of the bigger controllers that we normally cover here on Digital DJ Tips. As I say, with the exception of this little one here, and I've got a good reason for you using this as something that's a bit different from the others. So we've actually got 6 to show you today. I've only got 5 of them in the studio. I don't know where the other one went actually, but don't worry, I'll show you a picture of it. And so why would you want to use a tiny DJ controller like this kind of thing? Well, these are great for travel, right? You can throw this kind of thing in a bag and it's not going to take up any extra space. You can carry on a plane. You don't have to worry about putting it in your hold luggage or having hold luggage or that kind of thing. These are great for hotel rooms. They're great for show prep. They're great for a lot of DJs use tiny controllers like this when they're doing mix shows. But also, these are really useful for home, where you haven't got an awful lot of room at home to, you know, to have your controllers or your gear. Then this kind of thing can be really useful. And so, for all kinds of reasons, you might be looking for something absolutely tiny. And if so, well, today's show is for you. Right, let's start then. In no particular order, I think, today. We're going to start with this one here. And I'm just looking at it all to make sure I pick up the right one. This one here is the Reloop Ready. So the Reloop Ready is a Serato controller. It's for Serato software. And what's good about the Reloop Ready compared to nearly all the controllers that we're going to look at here is that unlike the rest of them, this can do pretty much everything that Serato can do. It's not in any way stripped down. The only thing I would say that's really missing on this is they've only gone for low and high EQs. There's no mid EQ. But apart from that, this is a full-on Serato controller. It's got control over nearly all the pad modes down here. Really good control over Serato's effects. Trust me, there's a lot of controllers that are a lot bigger than this that don't have this kind of control over Serato's effects. And the reason that this controller is so good, has got so much control over the software, is that it was made for a specific purpose by our own tutor, DJ Angelo. You see, DJ Angelo performs routines all over the world. So DJ Angelo has an awful lot of downtime and an awful lot of time when he's trying to work on his material. But what he found was that there was no controller that was smaller, but that still had everything he needed. So he, as a Reloop ambassador, had a chat with the people at Reloop and said, I want to make one. And the Reloop Ready was the result. So this is unique in that respect. It really doesn't dumb down what you can do in Serato, but it's tiny. It's got all of these controllers, apart from one, have actually got an audio interface built in, so you can plug in your speakers and your headphones. But this has got an audio interface and everything else as well. It's expensive, that's its downside. You know, the amount of money you pay for this, you could buy something much bigger. But hey, if you're looking for something small, then that's not going to be an advantage to you going bigger. So the Reloop Ready is the first one I've got to show you. Now the second controller here is, I think we're going to go for this one here now, to go for something slightly different. This is the DJ to Go Touch 2, or the DJ To Go 2 Touch. Let's get it right. And the reason it's called Touch is that the tiny, tiny, tiny little jog wheels here are touch sensitive. You touch the edges and you're nudging, and you touch the top and you're scratching. And we've actually got a video somewhere in our history of our scratch tutor, Steve, scratching on one of these. It is possible, believe it or not. So really, you have to see this thing to understand how tiny it is. It can fit over the trackpad of your laptop. So you can literally open your laptop, put this on the trackpad and plug it in and DJ. So this is fantastic for if you're, you know, on one of those tiny little tray tables in economy on a plane. And it's not actually the best version of this out there. The best version of this is the same size, the same form factor. It's by Hercules, and it's called the Hercules DJControl Starlight. We haven't got that one here, which is why I'm showing you this one. It's actually on the article on the website, the DJControl Starlight. By the way, you can find this article by heading over to Digital DJ Tips and looking for the 5 best micro DJ controllers for 2023. And if you are someone who's been to Digital DJ Tips regularly and you go to our homepage, it's changed. This is what you're going to see when you go there now. It's changed to reflect the fact that we're a DJ school. So we thought, let's put our DJ courses on our homepage. Duh. But don't worry, the blog is still there. It's just your second click will take you to the blog, as you know and love it. So anyway, yes, it's here. This Have controller will travel 5 best microcontrollers for 2023. And the Hercules DJControl Starlight looks like this. So it's obviously, from looking at that, you can see very, very similar to this. And the only difference is it's actually got a rudimentary tone control. That's got a bass control that you can switch to be a filter. This hasn't. So that's slightly better, but either of them will do you fine. If what you want is something that's really, really, really tiny, so you can literally open a laptop and it will sit there. Actually, these will sit over your laptop as well. They are small enough to sit on your laptop keyboard, but obviously this one's even smaller and you can still use the keyboard bit when you've got this perched on there. So these are, if ultra tiny is the most important thing, you ain't gonna get smaller than this. These are quite cheap as well, and they've also got headphones and outputs for speakers and stuff like that. So they're a great fun purchase. The DJ To Go 2 Touch or the Hercules Starlight, both of them will give you the tiniest controllers out there, bar none. So we're talking about tiny DJ controllers here today. When size matters and small is what's important, these are the ones that are going to tick your boxes. The next one is actually a sister controller to the Reloop Ready, came out at the same time. It's called the Reloop Buddy. So the Reloop Buddy is slightly different in that this is designed primarily to work with iPads. So it's got a slot here in the back where you can literally put your iPad in and it will stand up, and it's like a stand that will hold it at the right level for you. This is designed to work with Algorithm's DJ Pro AI software. As such, it's got control over DJ Pro AI's real-time stems, where you can separate drums, melodies and vocals by just turning these knobs when you press the button. So clearly it's pretty highly featured. Like the Reloop Ready, they've thought hard about mapping a lot of the features of the software to this, with the added advantage of having that stand for your iPad. So if you're not taking a laptop with you, if you're just taking an iPad or a phone, it'll fit a phone in the back of there as well, running their software, this is your solution, because it doesn't need you to have a laptop and it's got a stand built in for your phone or tablet. Again, not the cheapest thing out there. These are a step above some of the beginner controllers, but you get more features. It's called the Reloop Buddy, and again, this is featured on the article on the website, which you can go and find. So if you want to read up about all of this afterwards, head to Digital DJ Tips, click the blog and scroll down and you'll see all this stuff. So that brings us on to the next one, which I don't actually have in the studio. As I say, I'm not sure where it's gone. This is the Numark Party Mix II. So the Numark Party Mix II, the big thing about this, if you look at the picture now at the back here where my mouse pointer is, they've got lights. They've got a full light show built in. Now that is not going to illuminate a club, but it'll work fine at home. And so if you want a little controller that you can tuck away in a drawer when you're not using it, that's got reasonable control, this works with Serato. Nowhere near as good as the Reloop Ready, but reasonable control over Serato. And that's got a little built-in light show, this could be the one. I mean, these are pretty cheap. I think this is the updated prices here. Yeah, about $130, about £90. So look, this is nowhere near as expensive as something like the Reloop ones, but you're not getting a professional controller. It's unashamedly cheap and cheerful, but hey, for something to use at home, to tuck away, super casual use, to use with your kids, the Numark Party Mix II is a good little one. And so now I want to move on to a controller which is popular but has got a drawback. So I want to just make you aware of this if you're looking at tiny controllers and thinking, maybe I'll go for that one. And that's this one, the DDJ-200 from Pioneer DJ. I mean, incredibly, this is the biggest controller out of all the ones that we're featuring here in our micro controller roundup. This is for record box software, but primarily it's sold as a mobile controller for Pioneer DJ's mobile software called DJ. Now that's about to be superseded by a new app called Rekordbox that will run on your iOS, Android, tablet, phone. So Rekordbox is their existing software for laptop, which this works with, but also is also coming for all those other platforms. So this is quite interesting because Pioneer DJ is now moving towards this kind of cloud idea where you can keep your own music in the cloud and you can prepare your music on your phone or your laptop, and it's all ready for you when you walk into the Pro DJ booth to use something big like this here. I've got a load of mess on our decks at the moment, but look, this Pro setup, the idea is you go and sign in on the Pro setup and any work you've done on your phone and stuff like that will still show. And so it's getting quite interesting what they're doing with cloud. And this is Rekordbox. It's the only controller out of all of these ones that we've shown you here today that is actually for Rekordbox. So if Rekordbox is what you want and you like where they're going with this idea of cloud and using Rekordbox with your phone or your tablet, you might want to look at this, but I would say hold off until they release the mobile version of Rekordbox and we'll let you know how it works with it. As it stands, this is a reasonable controller, but it's got one big drawback because unlike any of the other devices that we've got here today, there's no audio interface with it. They supply you a little cable that looks a little bit like this one here. It's called a DJ splitter cable. And the idea is you plug it into your device and you plug your headphones into one of these and you plug your speakers into the other. But it's a hack. And really, the last time anyone released a DJ controller that didn't have an audio interface in it was many, many years ago. So that is a bit of cost cutting that I think they made a mistake by not including an audio interface, especially because these controllers are like $80, $90 and they've got one. But anyway, that's the Pioneer DDJ-200. The final micro controller I want to show you, as I say, is a bit different, and we ummed and ahed about whether to include this, but we did include it in the end just because it's pretty innovative. We actually covered it a couple of weeks ago. It's the little Xone K2. Now the Xone K2 hasn't got any decks, but it does have, with the mapping that I'm about to show you, control over this piece of software, which is the reason we're showing it to you. This is Beatport DJ. And Beatport DJ here is running in my browser. It's a Chrome app. I'm actually running it in Safari because that's what I've got open, but it's designed for Chrome and it runs in your browser. And this controller you can plug in to your laptop running it and it will control it. You've got 2 volume controls, 2 pitch controls, control over effects and loops and everything, sync button, volume controls, the lot. It is a really fun solution to DJing without even needing you could do it on a Chromebook without even needing DJ software. So this is worth looking at. It's the Beatport DJ version of the Allen&Heath Xone K2. This has been around for like a decade. It's been around for ages, but they've got this. You can download this printable cover which goes over the top, and it's got all the controls printed on it, and it works with this piece of software in your browser, the Beatport DJ app. So there's a few examples there of DJ systems that are absolutely tiny. So if you do want something tiny, maybe the Reloop Ready for Serato, the Reloop Buddy for Algorithm's DJ Pro AI, the DJ To Go Touch for Serato, which also has got the Hercules Starlight as a very similar controller, the DDJ-200 for Rekordbox, or the Xone K2 for Beatport DJ, the app that runs with your Beatport subscription inside a browser, even with Chromebooks. These are all absolutely tiny. Now, other things to look out for if you're going for a tiny DJ device, do look and see if it works with mobile. A lot of these will work with, for instance, Algorithm's DJ Pro AI in a browser. Do look at that if that's of interest to you, because you might just decide that you want to ditch the laptop entirely and just use it with the phone in your pocket. Some of these will. Also, I've got a little tip for you if you're a Serato user. A lot of these are Serato controllers. You see, the thing with this kind of device is they've got outputs for your speakers and outputs for your headphones, which is great, but it means that if you want to use one of these properly, like with monitoring in your headphones and with listening to it like in a hotel room or whatever, you're going to need speakers with you. Who carries speakers around with them, right? So Serato has got a cool little trick that I'm going to show you now, where you can go into the settings in Serato and you can click here in this area here when the controller's plugged in. This is on the audio settings. Because this controller is not actually plugged in at the moment, it's not showing it. But if I plug it in, I'm not even sure if I can off camera, but let's have a go. I'm plugging it in now. Let's see if it recognizes it on the screen. No, it's not recognizing. Oh, no, it is. Look, Reloop Ready connecting. Right, let's go back there then. Right, now we see it. See this use laptop speakers here? And you tick this, and this does something really clever, because what happens now is that the controller will still let you plug your headphones into it and queue up and do everything on your headphones, but your laptop will be the master output. The actual what you're doing will come out of the laptop, which is good. But if you then do want to plug in any bigger speakers, maybe you've got a little portable speaker, you can plug that straight into your laptop and get a bit more volume that way. So that's a good trick anyway with Serato. And I think this is really useful, by the way, just on a bit of a tangent. If you're a Serato user and, for instance, you've got a studio where you've got an audio interface with lovely speakers plugged into it and stuff, and you want to just quickly DJ, you can plug into your laptop and then use those speakers by doing it this way. Click Use Laptop Speakers on the software and then configure your laptop to output to your audio interface. Anyway, as I say, going off on one a little bit there, but the main reason that we are here today is to discuss these microcontrollers. So the other thing, the final thing I would say that you really want to consider if you're buying a controller like any of these is one of these. It's an acrylic case that is designed to go over the top and just protect the controls, nothing else. And this is absolutely rock solid. And this is really important because one thing that always happens, and trust me, I know a few things about the ins and outs of your gear and preserving your gear when you're DJing, and there's two things I've learned. Never use your studio speakers when you're playing a party. You will blow them up, trust me. And never throw a controller in a bag without a cover over it, because you will bend the faders. They'll just bend, and you don't want that to happen. So the reason that happens is they get caught on a lead or something and they get pulled. So buy an acrylic cover. This is by a company called Deck Saver, who are definitely the brand to go for. They only cost you a little bit more, and it'll get you so much more working life out of your controller. Right. I'd love to talk to you about this. We've got all the comments coming in live here. Before we go to the comments though, I just want to cover off a couple more things that are going on at Digital DJ Tips. So the first of those things is that we've got a competition at the moment running, and I want you to be able to win this prize. It's $2,000 in value. And it's a pair of fantastic studio monitors from IK Multimedia. They're called the iLoud Precision 5. They're brilliant monitors anyway, but they come with a special edition, which is a smart app that runs on your laptop and lets you tune them with a supplied microphone. So not only can you make your room sound great by getting them absolutely perfect, but you can also emulate other speakers. They really are very, very clever, and they're expensive, and we've got a pair to give away. Now, when I checked our site just before coming live, for some bizarre glitchy reason, you couldn't actually see this post. But as soon as I finish being live today, I'm gonna head off and sort that out. So head to Digital DJ Tips and go and find this article. Win IK Multimedia iLoud Precision 5 studio monitors. It will be on the Digital DJ Tips website. You're gonna go to the homepage and you're gonna click the blog. I can see this now, it's there, but when I checked it on our dirty browser, which is our word for the computer in the corner that isn't connected to any of our systems, you couldn't see it. So I think it's just got something unticked that I'll need to go and check. So I'll be checking that straight after. You can enter the competition then shortly after this broadcast finishes. The second thing that I wanted to share with you is that we're not here for the next couple of weeks. It's not that I'm dying, even though I'm losing my voice. It's just that I've got a 2-week holiday. So I'm not going to be here next week or the week after. So we are going to announce the winners of that competition in that blog post in a week's time on Tuesday. So come back and check there, and if you've won, we'll email you as well. Right, for the last few minutes here, while my voice holds out, I'd like to go to our live comments and talk to you guys and girls about micro DJ controllers. What are you using? What's doing it for you? I'm just going to get the comments open. I thought I actually had done that, but it appears that I hadn't. So hopefully they were all waiting for me there when I do get into our comment system. Let's find out. Oh, no, they're not. No, right. So anything that you said, any chat that you've given me has not appeared as of now in our comment system. So I've got no comments at all to share. That was a bit silly of me not opening that before we went live, wasn't it? Here we go. They're coming in now. Hello, DJ Willie. Right, so if you've chatted, if you said anything, this is like email. This is like declaring inbox zero. I've no idea what any of you said until this second. So if you wanted to make a comment about these kind of controllers, make the comment again now, because I'm only just receiving them, but they are now coming in thick and fast, I have to say. So hello to DJ Willie, hi to Philip Tan, who says, still pull out the Akai AMX every once in a while. Yeah, it's lovely, but it's so old that we don't cover obsolete gear anymore, unfortunately, because it was a lovely one. Benny, hello Phil, hello to you Benny. Travis says, seems like all level of controllers are getting some love except semi-pro 2-channel controllers. I would love to replace my Mix Track Platinum with a decent 2-channel controller. It's a really, really good point. And we've actually got our controllers between $500 and $1,000 2023 roundup coming very soon. And there ain't many of them. It's one area of the market that the manufacturers really aren't interested in covering. I think what they think is you're going to buy a beginner controller and then you're going to move to a pro controller, and you're not going to want something in the middle. It's something that we've noticed as well. So thanks for that comment. So I'm using a DJ2 Touch for ceremonies and backups, says Philip, one of these little things here. Any news about a DJ2 Touch version 3, says Jai Panade over there on Twitch. No, I don't have any news about that at all, but maybe they will come out with an update, maybe with that tone control that's on the Hercules one, who knows. Reloop Mix II, says DJ Tribal Cut. Yes, then we're moving back into this modular territory, but yes, the Reloop Mix II is a modular controller that is small. Our own Layback Luke uses the Reloop Mix II. Currently, he's using it just with his phone to DJ full festivals and stuff. I love the way Luke really does push things out a little bit and do things differently sometimes. A few of you are mentioning bigger controllers, which is awesome, but yeah, we are going for the just tiny stuff here. We're using the Reloop Ready, says DJ Milk Tray over there on YouTube, in our after school club. The kids love it. Mikhail says, I love my Hercules Starlight and the Numark DJ2 Touch. So the DDJ-200 is a beast, says DJ Stussy. Yeah, well, there's a lot of DJ controllers that are beasts, but that's not what we're looking at today. The smallest Hercules controller was my first one and my gateway into DJing, says DJ Majestic Eclectic. I really enjoyed that little dude. Henrico is giving us a thumbs up for small controllers as well. Medsem, digital DJ tips, give us the honest advice for your purchases. Oh, thank you, Medsem. Well, you know, we're a school, and ultimately that means we don't care what you use. We just want to teach you to use it properly. So we're going to give you unbiased advice for sure. These controllers are made for practice or preparing, not really to DJ with in the club, but you can use them at parties. I agree with you in everything that you say there, DJ Willie, apart from you can use them in parties. There's nothing wrong with using this kind of equipment to play parties, especially some of the more professional stuff, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, these are cheap and cheerful. The price difference is quite big. The price difference between these two, for instance, the little DDJ-200 and the Numark, is not very much. These are both quite cheap. But then when you're moving up to these kinds of controllers, they become more expensive. They're a little bit more serious, even though they are tiny. At what point do they stop being small, says DJ Stussy? The Mix Tracks and the DDJ-400 must still be in that bracket. No, well, yeah, they are small, but they're not micro. We make that division. Look, this is a DDJ-400. it's appreciably bigger than something like this. Or this, right? This is going to be harder to stick into a bag that's over your shoulder and tuck under a seat on a plane, but this isn't. So that's our definition, really. These are for most DJs, most of the time, if you spend between 300 and 500 on a controller, you're going to get something like this, which will last you a long time until you're ready to move up to something, who knows, maybe even like this, which is a different market segment to the tiny little controllers that we've been talking about today. But yeah, you're making a good point there. Les is mentioning one that we had to take out of our guide because they just don't make them anymore and you can't get them. The Fader Fox DJ1. I've still got it, but it's got a bent fader. Acrylic covers were unavailable back then, says Les. Yeah, they were lovely, those little Fader Fox for Tractor, weren't they, most of them? They were tiny little things. Anyway, I'm going to save what's left of my voice. It is getting better, so please don't worry about me. I'm going to save what's left of my voice and say goodbye for today. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back on Thursday, hopefully back to full tilt then for our Any Questions session. But remember that competition, that is actually not a competition, it's just a prize draw to win these speakers. You'll find this post on Digital DJ Tips very shortly. I'm just going to go and check why it's not apparently showing in public right now, but you'll find it over there very shortly, and then you can click the link to enter. When you click the link, you'll go to a little page that tells you what to do. So until then, get good, get out there, make the moments, and from me, Phil, here in the Digital DJ Tips studio, till next time, bye-bye.